Gamers hate $70 games. They tweet, they protest, they roast publishers for it, and yet they'll happily drop hundreds of dollars on a single skin in a game they didn't even pay for. Makes no sense, right? But here's the twist. Free is a trick word. Free-to-play games are built like a maze, and every exit has a price tag. From loot boxes to battle passes to tiny, just one more purchases, the bill adds up fast. And when you stack that against a one-time $70 purchase, let's just say the free game might actually be the most expensive game you own.
Free-to-play didn't start with Fortnite or League of Legends. It started way earlier with janky PC MMOs in the 2000s. Back then, it wasn't some evil plan, it was survival. Games like MapleStory and RuneScape let anyone hop in for free. You'd play for hours, level up, then bam, you hit the wall. That's when the game whispered, "Hey, for $5, want a cooler sword?" And it worked. Millions of kids begged their parents for just one payment. That one payment turned into 2, then 3, then a monthly subscription. It was genius. The games didn't need to sell copies anymore, they sold time. Then came League of Legends in 2009. No subscription, no $60 barrier, just free. But if you wanted the cool champion skins, that's where the money flowed. Suddenly, free-to-play wasn't a sketchy MMO gimmick, it was the business model. And here's the kicker. Players loved it. You weren't being forced to spend, you were choosing to. At least, that's what we thought.
Microtransactions started as tiny choices, a $2 sword here, a $1 potion there, harmless, right? But then designers learned a scary truth. Players will pay for feeling ahead. So the tiny choices got smarter. Loot boxes showed up, mystery rewards wrapped in glitter. You paid, you pulled, and sometimes you hit gold, sometimes you didn't. It smelled a lot like a slot machine, and people kept coming back. Then the model multiplied. Cosmetic skins became a status symbol. Progress shortcuts turned into timers you could skip with cash. New levels and characters sat behind price tags or mega pack bundles. And because the rewards felt random, every pull gave dopamine instead of a guaranteed payoff, which is perfect design for repeat spending. Some games stayed cosmetic only. Others nudged players towards spending to catch up with friends. And the marketplace made everything worse. Rare items could be traded or resold, turning pretend outfits into real money. Suddenly, opening a crate wasn't just vanity, it was speculation. So what started as optional extras became revenue engines. Designers stopped selling games. They sold tiny, recurring hooks and a loop that kept players feeding the machine.
By the mid-2010s, game companies had figured something out. Not every player needed to spend money. In fact, most wouldn't. But a tiny fraction of players, nicknamed whales, were spending hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars each month. Think about it. In a room of 100 Fortnite players, maybe 90 will never buy a thing. But the 10 who do, they'll bankroll the entire game. And out of those 10, maybe one person will spend like it's a second rent payment. And companies love these whales. They design entire systems around them. Time-limited skins, seasonal battle passes, exclusive bundles that vanish in 24 hours. It's the same psychology casinos use. Urgency, fear of missing out, and shiny rewards that make your brain light up. The craziest part? Some of these whales don't even realize how much they're spending until it's too late. Stories started popping up online about players racking up $10,000 bills in Clash of Clans, FIFA Ultimate Team, or even Candy Crush. Yes, Candy Crush, the game your mom plays at the dentist's office, turned into one of the most profitable mobile titles of all time, all because a small group of players couldn't stop swiping their credit cards. The rest of us, meanwhile, were playing along for free, thinking we were beating the system. But in reality, the entire design, from reward timers to endless pop-ups, was crafted to nudge just enough people into spending. Free-to-play had officially evolved. It wasn't just a pricing model anymore. It was a psychological machine. Here's where things get a little uncomfortable. Free-to-play games aren't just designed to entertain you, they're designed to study you. Every menu, every sound effect, every reward animation is a calculated trick to keep you hooked and spending. Take loot boxes. They're basically digital slot machines. You click, the box rattles, lights flash, a rare item explodes out with confetti. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, but your brain doesn't care. It's addicted to the maybe. That little hit of dopamine is enough to keep you chasing the next roll. Sound familiar? Yeah, because it's gambling with extra steps. Or look at daily login rewards. They don't just give you a gift, they punish you for missing a day. Suddenly, the game isn't just a game anymore, it's a routine. You wake up, brush your teeth, check your phone, and log into your game so you don't break your streak. That's not fun, that's behavioral conditioning. Then there's the fear of missing out, FOMO. Fortnite's entire empire is built on it. That limited time skin, gone forever if you don't buy it this week. You're not buying pixels, you're buying belonging. Nobody wants to be the only one in the squad rocking the default skin. And if you think this is all random, it's not. Companies hire psychologists and data scientists to refine these systems. They A/B test menus to see which button makes you spend faster. They track how long you linger on a skin before clicking purchase. You're not just a player, you're a lab rat. This is why free-to-play stopped being a game design strategy and became something bigger, a behavioral economy. The currency isn't just dollars, it's your attention, your habits, your impulses. And once they've got those, the money always follows.
The games people scream about being too expensive are often the cheapest deal in gaming. Take Elden Ring, $70 one time, and you get hundreds of hours of content. No shop, no passes, no loot boxes. You bought the disc, you own the adventure. End of story. Now compare that to a so-called free game. You jump in for nothing, cool. But then the first battle pass shows up, then a limited time skin, then an event you don't want to miss. $10 here, $20 there. Repeat that across a year, and suddenly you've spent $200, sometimes $300. And that's just average players. Whales? They'll happily spend more on Fortnite than most people do on rent. So which is really more expensive? The $70 title everyone complains about, or the free one silently draining your wallet? That's the genius of the model. Players don't notice the spending because it's broken into tiny bites. Nobody freaks out over $5, but string those bites together, and you've accidentally bought 3 premium games without realizing it. And yet, millions keep doing it, which raises the question, if free-to-play costs so much, why do players still love it?
The truth is, free-to-play isn't all bad. In fact, it's the reason many games even exist. Small indie studios can reach millions without needing a $70 paywall. Players who can't afford a new release can still jump into huge online worlds for nothing. And those whales? As ridiculous as their spending looks, they basically bankroll the game for everyone else. But here's the catch. The same system that makes games accessible is also the one normalizing gambling mechanics, endless grinds, and wallets that quietly bleed money. We traded box games for games as a service, and once you're in, there's no the end screen, just the next season, the next bundle, the next limited time deal. So yeah, $70 games are expensive, but the real costliest games, they're the ones that told you they were free. And the next time someone complains about a game's price tag, check their account history. Chances are they've already spent way more on a free game than any box copy could ever charge.